The two-seeded Vols take down 15 Wofford, 77-62.
Smokey and the Vols out-woof the Wofford Terriers.
I'm Shea, and this is Jace. Welcome to the PCS Volcast. We cover the SEC and everything Vols, so subscribe for more and like the video if you enjoy the content. Let's start with our thoughts.
So obviously, the Vols were heavily favored by about 18 points in this game. We're 2-seed over 15. I thought Wofford shot pretty well. Well, they did shoot well, and they played with a lot of heart. They weren't, intimidated by us from the jump like in the Houston Edwardsville game. That got pretty ugly pretty quick. But Wofford stayed around most of the game.
Yeah, most notably, they got it to 8 points at 13:33 in the second, which, starting with my thoughts, I guess I want to start with the negative. That's one of them. Why is it only an 8-point difference in the second half? Like you said, we should have been acting like Houston and Edwardsville. And just pulling away drastically. Instead, we let them hang around. They were shooting threes like crazy. And that's my first point is our bad perimeter shooting defense.
Yeah, everyone knew what Wofford's game plan was going to be going into the game. It's jack up a lot of threes. Those teams can be pretty scary come tournament time because if they get hot and they execute well, they can pull some upsets. We've seen that in the past. But, it wasn't really quite enough. They shot,
They shot 26. They were 11 for 26, which is 42%.
From three.
Not bad at all.
No, not bad.
Comparing that to 16 Alabama State, who shot 6 of 25. Omaha, who shot 5 of 36, which was 13%. And then Edwardsville, as we were talking about earlier, 2 of 24, 8%. So unimpressed by our perimeter defense.
And the other thing that's a little bit concerning about that is like that's our whole thing is 3-point shooting defense. We are the best in the country at that. That's really one of the reasons why our defense as a whole is like top 3 in the country. That was a little bit worrying, but you see that sometimes with these lower seeded teams. I'm not too worried about it going into the rest of the tournament.
Another thing I saw, this applies to everyone besides Chaz. We needed to get in the paint more. Especially someone like Felix or Igor. We were running up shooting threes immediately. This is how we lost to Florida.
Yes.
Terribly. This time we just shot a little bit better, but why are we doing that against Wofford? We're bigger than them. We're quicker than them. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's kind of over now, our ability to out-physical and just out-muscle teams, I think. We're playing UCLA next in the tournament, and they are a step above Wofford in terms of physicality and whatnot. So if we can't really do that against Wofford, I'm a little bit worried about how we'll be able to drive and kind of impose our dominance, but, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, another thing when it comes to physicality is Felix not being able to get the rebounds. He had as many rebounds as someone like Jordan Gainey. This is not what the center should be doing. His production has been really bad, especially against Wofford because these guys, you're going against like 6'3" white guys, and it's just like you are built different. This doesn't make any sense. There were a lot of confusing or ugly looking things that Rick Barnes came out with.
I will say in Felix's defense, he is our shot blocker, and if you contest a shot, you're out of position to get the rebound. He should get more rebounds, but the one good thing about that is we gang rebounded very well this game. Our guards rebounded well. Meshack had how many? 7 rebounds. That's really good for a guy who's like 6'4". Obviously super athletic, can jump super high. So, if we win games and Felix isn't putting up the rebounding numbers, I'm not going to be mad, but I would like him to grab some more rebounds.
Yeah, you know what? I just realized that they were shooting a lot of threes, and so I guess Felix would not be in position
Long
for
rebounds,
that.
Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about Igor, too. He looked pretty ugly. He only got around 18 minutes in the game, which is a lot less than he's used to. He went 2 for 5. You probably want to see him shoot a little bit more than that. And then he was 0 for 2 in the free throws as well. I do think the fouls were keeping him cold, and Rick Barnes was not giving him the opportunity like he should have. And you had pointed this out at the end of the game, too. he was out there with the backups at the end.
Yeah, just the walk-ons. He was out there for a little bit. I've been a little bit concerned about Igor to close out the season. We saw this against Florida. He just could not get any rhythm, any momentum, nothing because of the fouls. That hurts. First, and then second of all, he's just been playing kind of meh offensively. He was a guy at the beginning in the middle of the season where I said, if we want to make a run, he is our X factor. He's so versatile. He can do everything. And he needs to be doing that instead of sitting on the bench or just kind of standing on the three-point line. Like, we need to see him post up more drives. He's obviously a good passer. We just need him to be more involved, and he's not really been involved a lot.
But on the bright side, Chaz Lanier. I mean, 29-point game, third most in a NCAA tournament. He just looked really good. We're just hoping that he can keep this up.
Yeah, Chaz blew up this game. I mean, he was hitting 3 after 3. He had like 6 or 7 threes this game. He actually, I think, is tied as of right now for the most points in the first round this year with that Creighton dude. But yeah, this game would have been a lot uglier if Chaz didn't blow up. And we need to rely on Chaz. Obviously, he's our best shooter. He's our best scorer. We need to rely on him to get buckets for us. But at the same time, we need other guys to step up, like Igor. Gainey's been playing well recently. But something that kind of concerned me is the bench production. We shot a lot more free throws in this game, which is kind of why we won that and Chaz. But, we had a combined 6 shot attempts from our bench. But that needs to be a lot higher. From Gainey, Cade needs to shoot a few more layups and whatnot. But, yeah, we need more than 15 points a game and 6 shot attempts from our bench every game.
Yeah, that was another positive I had was the great free throw shooting was really good. It was really good last night, besides Igor. But Ziegler, let's talk about Ziegler. He showed great effort like he does every game, but it really showed off last night. And it didn't always work. Corey Tripp was well guarded against Ziegler, but he was still making it in, which was very surprising. But he had a pretty good height advantage on him, which is something that will worry me in the future. But the effort is there. He is not slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, he's been undersized all his life. I'm kind of surprised that people haven't taken advantage of that more, especially with bigger guards. But yeah, Corey Tripp played pretty good. He kind of looked like an NBA guy out there. Wasn't the most efficient, but they did what they can. Ziegler played well, and I am confident he'll play well all tournament. I don't really foresee us losing a game because of Ziegler. This is, every game could be his last at this point, and he is the most veteran and one of the most intelligent guys out there every night on either team. So I'm confident in him. Going back to that free throw shooting, the percentages weren't great, but I was more impressed with how we were able to get to the line. We're obviously the more physical team. We shot 22 free throws to their 9, so that was a huge help. And I'm really, really been impressed with how much Felix and Cade's free throw shooting has improved throughout the season. Cade was at one point a 55% free throw shooter. I'm not sure the exact number now, but it's a lot better than that. And Felix, oh my! I went to the Indiana preseason game, and his shot form was terrible. And it's noticeably gotten better, and the percentages agree with that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you come to Tennessee. Ohio State was not doing it for him.
Yep.
But let's look at the M&LVPs, starting with Chaz Lanier. Of course, he had a wonderful game. Like you said, tied most with the Creighton guy for points. He was hot. He didn't seem bothered at all that this was his first. Yeah, I mean, he got his first postseason win ever in his career against Texas during the SEC tournament. So
interesting.
This is a big deal for him coming from North Florida. So I'm really happy that he didn't have any pregame jitters and he just kind of came out looking really good.
Not much to say. I also had Chaz Lanier, obviously, with 29 points. If he keeps this up, he can be the March Madness or Final Four MVP if we make it that far.
The Ziegler effort, like I was saying before, I don't know why it was really popping out to me last night. I'm sure he's been doing this all season, but just last night in particular, like the Corey Tripp guy, if you're right and he's a future NBA guy, Ziegler held his own. I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, I had the physicality and the ability to get to the line. I mean, that's going to be our thing all season. The rest of the season is physicality without fouling, hopefully, and then our ability to get to the line, use that physicality to our advantage. As I said, Felix and Cade, their ability to shoot free throws has allowed them to be physical naturally and also not, lay points on the table when they do get fouled.
And the MVP for Wofford was the guy with the goofy-looking glasses. I heard he likes to shoot grainy shots. I wish we could have seen that last night. Yeah. But the glasses were enough for me. Give him the MVP.
I had Corey Tripp. He had 34 minutes, and he had 14 points, which almost led them in scoring. Not very efficient, but you got to step up. You got to just take shots if you're down, like Wofford was. And I think he has a good future ahead of him.
LVPs. Igor looked ugly. He's been in a slump recently. It's been very unfortunate. Maybe he needs to get yelled at by Rick Barnes a little bit more. I do have faith in him, but this game was not a good start.
I also had Igor in his fouling. I just want to see him get into rhythm. We've seen him play well this season. He's been our leading scorer at times. We know how versatile he is, and he's just such an important piece offensively and defensively if we want to make a run. So I really want to see him play well the rest of the season.
And then our perimeter defense was an LVP for me. Looking back, the game plan was to let Wofford just kind of shoot these threes because I guess they just assumed they wouldn't hit them all. But at 42%, you can't be allowing that. So I guess I understand in a way, but still, it was hard to watch them just bank all these threes when you're looking at these other 15, 16 seeds that are shooting like 8 to 15%. So
yeah, if that was the game plan, I want to get Barnes out of here because that's what they're going to do. They're going to shoot threes, make them come into us and push us around because they can't and they won't. I had just the Southern Conference representative of Wofford and the conference difference. It was obvious. I mean, they held their own as much as they could, but when it comes down to it with a lot of these, high versus low seed matchups, it's just kind of obvious. I mean, it's, respect to them. They made a really good run in the conference tournament as a 6th seed to make the tournament. But, yeah, I mean, they were a little bit outmanned.
My last LVP would be the second half comeback that we allowed that I was talking about earlier. 8 points in the second half. And Wofford was feeling themselves. The coach kept saying in his interviews how confident he was in this team, how they believe they were underrated, that they could compete with anybody, and we kind of made them look that way at that time. Right. We were up by 13 or 15, quickly when the game started. So for us to kind of fall off like that is concerning to me.
Yeah, I mean, when it's a seed difference like that, the underdog is always going to have that, underdog mentality, chip on their shoulder. You cannot let them use that to beat you. But I agree, that's not going to fly against a team like Kentucky, especially Illinois, Xavier, some of the teams in our quadrant. My last LVP was the Tennessee non-believers. Now, Wofford did cover the spread, so props to them. But I saw a lot of people saying, do not take Tennessee money line, or even Wofford is the big upset this year over Tennessee. I was never worried. They did play well, as I've said before, but you got to believe in Tennessee. Come on now.
But these were our thoughts and our M&LVPs from the last night's game. Check out our UCLA preview. We'll also be doing a review for that and for every game that Tennessee has coming up. Again, this has been the PCS Volcast. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I'm Shea.
And I'm Jace.
Go Vols!
Go Vols!